The story opens with Shiki, a young boy living on the machine-inhabited planet of Granbell, being taught a valuable lesson by his grandfather, the Demon King Ziggy. He is told that friends are the most important treasure in the universe, a philosophy that Shiki takes to heart for his entire life. Years later, space adventurers Rebecca and her robotic cat companion Happy land on Granbell. The planet, once a bustling theme park, has fallen into disrepair. They are the first human visitors in a very long time, setting the stage for a fateful encounter with the now-grown Shiki. Shiki showcases his unique power, Gravity Ether Gear, a mysterious ability that allows him to control gravity. This power was inherited from his grandfather and makes him a formidable presence, capable of incredible feats that surprise the newly arrived adventurers as they explore the strange planet. During their adventures, the crew has a dangerous encounter with the infamous space pirate, Elsie Crimson. Known for her power and ruthlessness across the 7 cosmic seas, her appearance signals a significant threat and hints at a larger, more perilous universe awaiting them beyond their current journey. A brief flashback shows Rebecca and Happy's first hopeful arrival on Granbell, searching for content for their B-Cube channel. They were drawn in by the allure of a forgotten theme park planet run by robots, completely unaware of the life-changing adventure that was about to unfold for them. Shiki's kind nature is immediately apparent as he is seen helping a broken-down robot. This small act highlights his deep connection to the machines of Granbell, who are not just residents, but his only friends. It establishes his role as their dedicated caretaker and mechanic on the isolated planet. Shiki meets a human for the very first time when he stumbles upon Rebecca. True to his grandfather's teachings, his first instinct is to ask her to be his friend. His innocent and direct approach is startling but charming, marking the beginning of a powerful and lasting bond between them. Shiki reveals that he has never left Granbell because he feels a deep responsibility to the planet's robot inhabitants. As the only one who knows how to repair them, he believes that if he were to leave, they would all eventually break down and cease to function, leaving them helpless. The origin of Shiki's life on Granbell is explained. He was found as an infant by the kind-hearted Demon King Ziggy, who brought him to the planet and raised him as his own grandson. This backstory provides context for his unusual upbringing among machines and his inherited powers. In a shocking turn of events, the robots of Granbell suddenly turn against Shiki and Rebecca. They reveal a coordinated plan to capture Rebecca's ship for their own escape from the planet. This apparent betrayal forces Shiki into a painful conflict with the only family he has ever known. Rebecca passionately argues that friendship should transcend the boundaries between humans and machines. However, her pleas are ignored as the robots, seemingly united in their cause, declare that all humans are their enemies, creating a heartbreaking and tense standoff for everyone involved in the conflict. Forced to protect his new friend, Shiki unleashes the full power of his Gravity Ether Gear. This incredible ability, passed down from the Demon King, allows him to manipulate gravitational forces, showcasing a strength that far exceeds anything Rebecca and Happy had anticipated from the young adventurer. Rebecca makes a quick decision and pulls Shiki aboard her ship, the Aqua Wing, telling him that it is finally time for him to see the vast world beyond Granbell. This moment marks Shiki's reluctant but necessary departure from his home and the start of his true journey across the cosmos. After their escape, the truth is revealed. The robot's betrayal was a carefully orchestrated act. They staged the entire conflict to force Shiki to leave the dying planet, thereby fulfilling the Demon King's final wish for his grandson to explore the universe and make new friends. As they journey through the stars, Shiki grieves for the friends he left behind on Granbell. He comes to understand their profound sacrifice, realizing they gave him the ultimate gift, the freedom to have a future. This moment solidifies his resolve to honor their memory by embracing his adventure. Recognizing his immense power and loyalty, Rebecca offers Shiki a formal position as the bodyguard for her B-Cube channel. This solidifies their partnership and gives their travels a clear purpose: to explore the cosmos and create amazing content, with Shiki ensuring their safety along the way. The trio arrives at the bustling Adventurers Guild Meteor Lights on the planet Blue Garden. This is their first major step into the wider universe of adventurers, guilds, and quests. They are ready to officially register Shiki and begin their new life of exploration and discovery together. Shiki quickly shows his protective nature when he confronts Labilia, a popular and arrogant B-Cuber, for bullying Rebecca and making her cry. He doesn't hesitate to stand up for his friend, demonstrating that his loyalty is absolute and that he will not tolerate anyone hurting the people he cares about. Rebecca shares the heartwarming story of how she found Happy. He was a small, abandoned cat whom she rescued and took in as her own. Their immediate and deep bond marked the beginning of their inseparable friendship, long before their adventures with Shiki began, and they've been together ever since. Their time on Blue Garden takes a dangerous turn when Happy is suddenly kidnapped by a local gang. This forces Shiki and Rebecca to spring into action, setting off on a frantic chase through the city streets to rescue their beloved friend from the clutches of the criminals. Without hesitation, Shiki uses his gravity ether gear to fight through the gang members who stand in their way. He effectively clears a path for them, showcasing his combat prowess and his unwavering determination to protect his friends and ensure Happy's safe return to the group. In a surprising twist during the rescue, Happy transforms into a pair of powerful ether blasters for Rebecca to wield. This shocking reveal shows that he is not an ordinary cat, but a highly advanced machine, adding another layer of mystery to his character and their dynamic. The story behind Happy's mechanical nature is revealed. He was in a tragic accident and was rebuilt as a cyborg to save his life. Despite this change, Rebecca's love for him never wavered, and their bond remained as strong as ever, proving their friendship is deeper than appearances. Inspired by his journey so far, Shiki proposes a truly grand adventure for the crew. He wants them to become the first people in history to find the legendary cosmic goddess known only as Mother. This ambitious goal sets the ultimate direction for their future travels across the stars. To have any hope of reaching Mother, who resides outside their cosmos, the crew realizes they need a more powerful spaceship. They decide their next destination will be planet Norma, where they plan to seek out the brilliant but eccentric scientist, Professor Weiss, to help them acquire a suitable vessel. Upon their arrival on planet Norma, their ship suffers a crash landing, but Shiki's quick thinking and control over gravity save them from disaster. He skillfully manipulates the falling vessel, ensuring a safe touchdown and preventing any serious damage to the ship or injury to the crew. The crew finally meets the man they believe to be Professor Weiss, but they are shocked to find a young, reckless delinquent instead of the elderly inventor they were expecting. This mysterious young man, who shares the professor's name, immediately presents a puzzle for them to solve. A startling realization dawns on the crew. They haven't just traveled to a different planet, but to a different time. They have been caught by a chronophage, a space-time anomaly, and have been transported 50 years into Norma's past, explaining the youthful appearance of Weiss. A case that the young Weiss had stolen is opened, revealing a small, amnesiac android named Pino. She is a key to their unfolding mystery, but her memories have been wiped clean, leaving her vulnerable and confused in a world she doesn't remember, and she is scared. Moved by Pino's distress, Shiki makes a bold decision. He resolves to protect her from the dangerous gang leader Sibber, choosing to intervene directly in the past despite the potential consequences. His deep compassion for others overrides any concerns about altering the timeline for his new friend. As they navigate the dangers of past Norma, the crew comes face to face with the bizarre Foot brothers. These quirky henchmen of Siber have a peculiar and unsettling obsession with feet, making for a strange and memorable confrontation that adds a touch of weirdness to their already complicated situation. The young Weiss makes a surprising return, deciding to aid the crew in their fight. He reveals his own powerful ether gear, Machina Maker, which allows him to reshape and control technology. His skills prove invaluable as he joins the battle against Siber and his forces. Shiki manages to defeat the formidable Siber, but the victory is short-lived as Siber activates a self-destruct sequence. In a heroic moment, Pino steps in and successfully deactivates the device, saving everyone from the explosion and proving her own bravery and worth to the team. Weiss initially hijacks their ship, but instead of abandoning them, he uses his Machina Maker abilities to perform a series of rapid upgrades. His modifications significantly boost the ship's performance, allowing them to finally break free from the mysterious energy field trapping them on Norma. The older Professor Weiss contacts them and explains the strange situation. The chronophage didn't send them back in time, but instead ate 50 years of Norma's time, creating a separate timeline. This allows the young Weiss to exist in the present without causing a time paradox. Just as they escape one danger, another appears on the horizon. The legendary space pirate Elsie Crimson and her massive warship suddenly emerge, ensnaring their small vessel in a powerful tractor beam. The crew finds themselves captured by one of the most feared figures in the entire cosmos. Never one to be intimidated, Shiki issues a bold and audacious challenge to Elsie Crimson. Instead of submitting to her, he declares that his crew will be the ones to do the plundering, vowing to take her massive ship for themselves. His confidence is both reckless and inspiring. As they fight their way through Elsie's warship, the crew is ambushed by disgusting parasitic slime creatures. These monstrous beings latch onto them, creating a sticky and perilous situation that tests their combat skills and their ability to work together under disgusting and intense pressure. Shiki finally reaches and confronts Elsie Crimson herself. In a surprising twist, she reveals that she had a connection to his grandfather, the Demon King Ziggy, and had been anticipating Shiki's arrival. This revelation adds another layer of intrigue to his mysterious past and his journey. Elsie shares a crucial piece of information. The Demon King Ziggy had also embarked on a quest to find Mother, but he ultimately failed to reach the legendary goddess. This news underscores the immense difficulty of their goal and deepens the connection between Shiki's journey and his grandfather's legacy. True to her word in a way, Elsie gifts the crew a magnificent new ship. She then reveals its incredible history. The vessel, named the EDENS 0, originally belonged to the Demon King Ziggy himself, making it a priceless and powerful inheritance for Shiki and his friends. Aboard their new ship, the primary AI, Witch Regret, awakens from a long slumber. She introduces herself as one of the 4 legendary shining stars who serve the Demon King, providing a direct link to the ship's past and Shiki's grandfather, and she is very powerful. Witch explains that in order to unlock the EDENS Zero's full potential and travel beyond the Sakura cosmos, they must find and reunite the other 3 shining stars. This task sets a clear and critical new objective for the crew as they begin the next phase of their epic journey. The mysterious narrator, Xiao Mei, concludes the chapter by setting the stage for the crew's next grand quest. Their journey will now be focused on the search for the remaining shining stars, a pivotal mission that will lead them to new worlds and new challenges across the vast cosmos. Back at the Adventurers Guild, the crew once again crosses paths with the arrogant beekeeper, Lobelia. She wastes no time in resuming her mockery of Rebecca's channel, continuing their rivalry and creating more tension for the team as they try to gather information for their quest. Shiki steps in to defend Lobelia from a mysterious and aggressive man named Jin. The confrontation quickly escalates, and Jin reveals that he is also a powerful ether gear user, marking him as a formidable new adversary for Shiki and a potential threat to their ongoing mission. Disaster strikes when Rebecca is suddenly kidnapped directly from the guild. Through their investigation, the crew learns that her abductors are likely based on the dangerous and lawless planet of Gilst, forcing them to mount a high-stakes rescue mission into hostile territory to save their friend. A skilled and mysterious swordswoman named Homura Kogetsu approaches the crew. She offers her assistance in rescuing Rebecca, but with a condition. In return for her help, she wants safe passage aboard the EDENS Zero, hinting at her own personal quest and motivations for joining them. The crew arrives on the notorious planet of Gilst, a wretched hive known for being a sanctuary for criminals and outlaws. The grim and dangerous atmosphere immediately sets a tense tone as they begin their search for Rebecca, fully aware of the perils that await them in this lawless world. Their search leads them to the leader of the mercenary group, Rogue Out, a woman who shockingly identifies herself as Sister. This is a confusing development, as Sister is supposed to be one of the shining stars they are searching for, but her current actions seem villainous. Homura demonstrates her incredible skill by unleashing her ether gear, Soul Blade, which allows her to create swords from energy. She bravely decides to stay behind and hold off the mercenary forces, buying Shiki the crucial time he needs to pursue the fake sister and uncover the truth. Meanwhile, the other B-Cubers who were abducted alongside Rebecca realize they can't wait for a rescue. They decide to take matters into their own hands, pooling their skills and courage to formulate a daring plan to escape from their high-security prison and reclaim their freedom. Shiki successfully reaches and saves Rebecca, but their reunion is cut short by an urgent message from Witch. The planet-devouring chronophage is rapidly approaching Gilst, threatening to erase the entire world from existence. They must escape immediately or be wiped out along with the planet. Shiki makes the difficult choice to stay behind and face Jin in a one-on-one battle. This selfless act ensures that Rebecca and the other escaped prisoners have a clear path to safety, allowing them to flee the collapsing building and the doomed planet before it is too late. The crew confronts the fake sister once more, but the confrontation is interrupted by the dramatic arrival of the real Sister Ivry. With a fiery temper and immense power, she furiously reclaims her name and identity, ready to punish the imposter who has been misusing her reputation. The real Sister Ivry reveals the truth of her absence. She was ambushed and held captive for a decade. During her imprisonment, the imposter exploited her renowned healing abilities for personal profit, building a criminal empire on the foundation of Sister's stolen name and powers and reputation. The EDENS Zero arrives in the nick of time as the chronophage closes in. Shiki uses his gravity ether gear to tear a massive hole in the planet's giant trees, creating a landing zone for the ship. This allows for a daring and last-second rescue of everyone on the ground. With the rescue complete and Sister Ivry now part of the crew, Homura formally joins their mission. She reveals her personal reason for being on board. She is searching for her master, Valkyrie Yuna, who is none other than the final missing member of the Four Shining Stars. With Valkyrie's whereabouts still unknown, the crew decides to seek the wisdom of the legendary, all-knowing fortune teller, Xiaomei. They set a course for the mysterious planet of time, Meldian, a world where time itself is said to stand still, hoping she can guide them to their final crewmate. Upon arriving at their destination, the crew makes a startling discovery. They find the final shining star, Hermit Mio, but she is in a catatonic state. When she briefly awakens, she expresses a profound and intense hatred for all humans, creating a new and difficult challenge for the team. Witch Regret uses her analytical skills to determine the cause of Hermit's condition. She deduces that Hermit's consciousness has been severed from her physical body and is now trapped within the virtual world of Digitalis, a defunct but still active online game, and they must go there. Inside the world of Digitalis, the crew learns about a notorious player killer known as Jamaroff. He has been terrorizing the game's NPC population, and they suspect his destructive activities may be linked to Hermit's current comatose state, making him a prime target for their investigation. They manage to locate Hermit's avatar within the game, but she vehemently refuses to leave. It becomes clear that she is deeply traumatized by past events involving humans, and her experiences have led her to seek refuge in the digital world, away from the pain of reality. Jamaroff escalates his reign of terror by launching a massive, full-scale monster invasion on one of the main NPC towns. This forces the EDENS Zero crew to put their search for answers on hold and defend the innocent digital inhabitants from the overwhelming and destructive onslaught. During the battle, Shiki argues passionately that the NPCs, even though they are just data, are alive because they can feel fear and pain. He believes they possess hearts and are worthy of protection, a compassionate stance that begins to resonate with the watching Hermit from afar. Deeply moved by Shiki's unwavering compassion and his defense of the NPCs, Hermit decides to intervene. She uses her exceptional hacking abilities to fight back against Jamaroff's illegal cheats, turning the tide of the battle by using his own unfair tactics against him to help the crew. In a final act of desperation, Jamaroff activates a world deletion program to destroy everything. However, with Hermit's expert technical support, Shiki is empowered to break through his defenses and deliver the final blow, defeating the cheater and saving the world of Digitalis from certain annihilation. Hermit agrees to rejoin the EDENS Zero crew, but her emotional scars remain. Her backstory is revealed. She was betrayed and brutally tortured by a human scientist she had trusted, which is the source of her deep-seated trauma and her intense mistrust of all humankind and those that trust them. The danger follows them as the EDENS Zero is suddenly hacked by Jamaroff, who now goes by the alias Spider. He seizes control of the ship's systems and sets it on a catastrophic collision course, creating a new and immediate crisis that threatens the entire crew and their home. Inspired by the crew's genuine kindness and their unwavering belief in her, Hermit confronts her trauma head-on. She engages Spider in a high-stakes hacking battle and successfully outmaneuvers him, reclaiming control of the ship and saving everyone from imminent destruction through her efforts. With Hermit back on the team, the crew returns to the planet of time, Mieldian, to get the information they originally sought. They once again seek an audience with the enigmatic Xiaomei, hoping she will finally reveal the location of the last remaining shining star, the legendary swordswoman Valkyrie. As a final challenging trial, Xiaomei forces Homura to battle against a highly advanced replica of her own master, Valkyrie. This intense duel is designed to test Homura's strength, resolve, and her emotional readiness to confront the legacy of the woman she has been searching for. Having passed the test, Xiaomei finally divulges Valkyrie's location. She tells them that the legendary swordswoman can be found on planet Sun Jewel, a world known for its stark contrasts, a place of brilliant light and deep, oppressive shadow, hinting at the difficult truths that await them there. Upon landing on Sun Jewel, Shiki and Homura's protective instincts lead them to intervene in a crime. However, the planet has a strict no-violence policy, regardless of intent. For their actions, they are immediately arrested and transported to the planet's harsh, underground labor district. Above ground, Rebecca is blackmailed by her rival, Lobelia, into performing an embarrassing cosplay routine on her B-Cube channel. Lobelia dangles the information on how to reach the labor district as a prize, forcing Rebecca to choose between her pride and rescuing her captive friends. In the subterranean labor district, Shiki and Homura uncover a cruel and corrupt system. The prisoners are forced to mine for valuable ore with no realistic hope of ever earning their freedom, trapped in a cycle of endless toil for the benefit of the planet's unseen ruler. Shiki's strong sense of justice boils over when he witnesses the abusive overseer tormenting the other prisoners. He boldly stands up to the tyranny, declaring that he values the safety and dignity of his friends far more than any oppressive rule, and he is ready to fight for them. They encounter Paul, who reveals himself to be another one of Valkyrie's devoted disciples. He holds a B-cube containing the tragic truth of what happened to their master, a story that he has been waiting to share with Homura upon her eventual arrival on the planet. The video reveals that Valkyrie came to Sun Jewel in search of Homura's estranged mother, Kurenai. However, she discovered the laborer's plight and, in a final act of heroism, sacrificed her own life to protect them from Kurenai's insatiable greed and cruelty, a heartbreaking end to her journey. Homura is utterly devastated to discover Valkyrie's lifeless body. The realization that her long and hopeful search for her beloved master has ended in such a tragic and final way is a crushing blow, leaving her heartbroken and reeling from the immense and sudden loss of her mentor. Fueled by righteous anger, Shiki confronts Kurenai, who is not only Homura's mother, but also the tyrannical ruler of the planet. She displays a chilling lack of remorse for her actions, showing no regret for abandoning her daughter or for the circumstances that led to Valkyrie's death. In a final act of cruelty, one of Kurenai's top enforcers sadistically destroys Valkyrie's physical remains right in front of a horrified Homura. This desecration of her master's body is the last straw, pushing Homura past her grief and into a state of cold, determined fury. Channeling all of her training, grief, and love for her master, Homura engages in a fierce duel with the man who desecrated Valkyrie's body. She fights with the full spirit and will of her mentor, ultimately defeating him and avenging the dishonor done to her master's memory. After Shiki successfully defeats Kurenai in a massive battle, Homura confronts her mother. She officially disowns her, choosing to honor the memory and love of Valkyrie, who is more of a mother to her than Kurenai ever was. It is a powerful and emotional moment of closure. With Valkyrie gone, Homura makes a solemn vow to take up her master's mantle. She declares herself the new Sword of EDENS, officially completing the lineup of the 4 shining stars and solidifying her place as a crucial member of the EDENS Zero crew as they move forward. Their journey faces a new, formidable obstacle as they are pursued by the immensely powerful Draken Joe, a member of the elite Aurasian Sais Galactica. His pursuit forces the crew into a dangerous and unavoidable confrontation with one of the most feared figures in the entire cosmos. The crew's initial direct assault on Draken's fortress, the Belial Gore, ends in a catastrophic failure. It is revealed that their every move was anticipated, and they walked directly into a perfectly laid trap, leading to a swift and devastating defeat for the entire team. In this dark timeline, Draken Joe demonstrates his absolute cruelty. He captures the crew, brutally tortures Weiss, and, in a horrifying climax, murders Shiki right before Rebecca's eyes, shattering her world and leaving her in a state of complete and utter despair and hopelessness. The overwhelming grief and trauma of watching Shiki die triggers a latent and extraordinary power within Rebecca. Her hidden ether gear, Cat Leaper, awakens, sending her consciousness hurtling back through time to a point just before their ill-fated attack, giving her a second chance. Now armed with the painful but crucial knowledge of their future defeat, Rebecca urgently convinces the crew to abandon their original plan. They regroup and formulate a new strategy, using her insights into Draken's tactics to prepare for a different kind of confrontation, one where they have the upper hand. The Guildmaster Noah contacts them and reveals a stunning truth. Rebecca has already experienced this loop 29 times without realizing it. This current reality, which he calls World Number 30, is their final opportunity to defeat Draken and break the cycle of failure for good. Thanks to Rebecca's foreknowledge of the events to come, the crew is able to successfully anticipate and counter the initial invasion of the EDENS Zero by Draken's forces. They turn the tables on their attackers, securing an early victory and setting a new course for this altered timeline. A shocking connection is revealed. Draken Joe is none other than the loan shark DJ Zombie from Norma's past. He has been using a sophisticated life support machine for over 50 years to maintain his youth and power, explaining his seemingly immortal status and his desperate quest for more. The crew strategically divides their forces. While Shiki goes to face Draken in a final, decisive showdown, the rest of the team works together to battle his elite enforcers, the formidable Element 4, in a coordinated effort to dismantle his entire operation from the inside out. The team successfully hacks and reverses the flow of Draken's life support machine. Instead of sustaining him, it begins to drain him, causing his body to rapidly decay and mutate into a monstrous and grotesque version of himself, a terrifying consequence of his long-abused power. Pushed beyond his known limits by the monstrous Draken, Shiki awakens his own overdrive form. This incredible power-up allows him to match his seemingly immortal foe blow for blow, culminating in an epic battle that ultimately leads to Draken Joe's final and definitive defeat, freeing them all. In the aftermath of the intense battle, Rebecca and Lobelia share a surprisingly civil moment. They acknowledge each other's help before quickly reverting to their usual tsundere-like rivalry, their strange and complicated friendship now solidified through the shared trauma and victory they experienced together. With all 4 shining stars finally assembled and a major cosmic threat neutralized, the crew of the Eden Zero is stronger and more united than ever. They set their sights on the legendary Dragonfall, the gateway to outer space, ready to continue their epic journey to find Mother.